So how is it going, everyone? Welcome back to the League of Europe. We are here for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. My name is Jay Cole, in case you don't know me by now. Usually I am the commentator for Division 3. Before we do get into qualifying, what we're going to do is, as we usually do, we're going to be going through a lap of the Abu Dhabi circuit, and it is done by Mr. Bag O'Bones in Division 2. Hope you enjoy. So there you have it. That was the hot lap for Division 3. Oh, sorry. That was a hot lap for the Abu Dhabi circuit. Thank you very much to Bones for sorting that one out for ourselves. We've just had a little bit of the problem whilst we was loaded into qualifying. I think what happened was something had happened. The whole lobby was just frozen whilst we was waiting for it to actually load up. So we are currently just in the process of trying to get this lobby back into play at the moment. But whilst we are doing that, I will just quickly go through the standings at the moment, just so it saves me doing that through qualifying. So currently on the top step is Mr. Adri Lockdock. He did end up, he actually had his lead closed in a bit from the man who has now overtaken James in second place, is Big W. So Big W is now in second on 151 points. Adrian is on 204 points, by the way. And the championship can be clinched if no matter what, if Adri wins this race today, then no matter what, he will finish, he will win that championship. If Adri finishes in second, Big W has to win. If he doesn't, then Adri again will clinch that title. And if Adri finishes in third, then Big W would need to win. He can't come second, because if he comes second, then it will be a draw, and then Adri wins it on race wins purely. So Big W would need to win in order for that to carry on. Basically, Big W just needs to win this race. If he doesn't, there's a high chance that Adri can win the championship today. As I said, he's on 53 points at the moment. As long as Adri gets points, and as long as Big W gets points, we could be seeing this go down to the wire. Now, I did mention that Big W had overtaken the man that has been in second for the majority of the year. That is James. He is currently in third on 144 points. So he's only 7 points behind Big W. So he is still in that championship fight. Behind here, 12 points behind James is Eduk. He is currently on 132 points, but he's not actually racing today. So Eduk is out of that championship fight. However, the man that's behind Eduk, hang on, who's that? Is that Mike? Mike is actually at the championship as well. He's 79 points behind, and there's only 75 left remaining. So it is only between the top three for that championship, and even then, it is looking very slim for the other two to try and catch up to Adri. The only way that they will get that is if they end up winning both of these last three races, and Adri DNFs at least two of them. That is the only way that they'll be able to at least contend with the Spaniard in the Renault. Now, as I was saying, Eduk is the one that's in fourth at the moment, not attending this race today. Other than Mike is in fifth. One in sixth is Mr. Wuta. However, he's actually unfortunately had to retire for the rest of the league. I think it was just due to a few personal reasons. So it's unfortunate to see him retire. He was pretty much an underdog in my eyes throughout the entire season. He's been doing pretty well, getting some solid results as well, being pretty consistent within like the top five as such. MCR, who is in seventh in the championship standings on 115 points, is only 3 points behind Mr. Wuta. But if I'm not mistaken, I can't see MCR anywhere in the lobby, so I don't think MCR is actually racing. Bit of a strange one. But yeah, he's currently in P7. Nico has returned. He's now he's in P8 in the standings. He's only 10 points behind MCR and 13 points behind Mr. Wuta. So if he gets another good result today, then he has a very high opportunity of being able to overtake those guys in the standings. So we'll have to keep our eyes out on that. And also, he could even end up overtaking his teammate if his teammate does crash out as well. But Nico would need a win. Last time he was here, he did win in USA because of what happened with Big W, Adri, and Eduk at the end of that race. And Nico did end up taking that win in the end due to steward's inquiries. So congratulations to him for that one. And it's good to see him back. Down in P9 is Heated. He's currently on 91 points. Not exactly had the best results in these last 7 races. He's only scored 4 points in the last 7 races. 2 of them he didn't start. 5 of them he did. 4 of them he DNF'd. Now, as I said, the other one he scored 4 points in. So, excuse me. The man in Toro Rosso is looking to see if he can get some sort of redemption for this whole season, especially considering obviously at the beginning of the season he was looking quite strong on contention for being up there with the championship leaders as such. But then it sort of started to drop off after it got to about the Italy Monaco stages. Again, Russia, Canada didn't attend, and then the last 5 races, 4 points, and the only time that he got that was at USA. So hopefully he's looking for redemption. In P10 in the standings is Aledi. Now he has been sort of on and off this season. He's definitely improved pace wise, gotten a lot quicker. I think it's just more him getting used to the game as such. He is currently sitting on a whopping 67 points, but he isn't actually attending today either. So there's a big gap from him and Heated. It's a 24-point gap between the pair of them. So Aledi, if he wants to try and he needs to just maybe show up at least in order for him just to be able to try and bounce back onto Heated. As I said, there are only going to be 2 races left after this one, so he's got 2 races to try and get that sorted out. Down in 11th is Smitsky, the other Renault. He is currently on 55 points. He is here today as well, so he is also trying to see if he can maybe snap that P10 spot from Aledi. Again, because he hasn't shown up today, so we'll see if he can manage to do that. Ryan B is down in 12th. He isn't here today either, but he's on 42 points. Wakurski in 13th on 41 points, so he's only a point behind Ryan B. And Wakurski is here today, so hopefully he should try and overtake him in the standings. Jasper, 14th, he's on 39 points. But unfortunately not attending today. 38 points is the man below him, which is Frey. Dave is in 16th on 32, with Ghost in 17th on 26. Norwich City in 18th on 22. Breadbank is in 19th with 15. Ibo is 20th with 13 points. Ricardo TV is 21st with 12. LFC 22nd with 11. And Karkanen is 23rd with 9 points. Cloudy Cloud 24th on 5 points. Craigie 25th on 2 points. And the guys that are still yet to score any points is Cam and Yestin. They're the only 2 that are still yet to score any sort of points. So hopefully, because I know Cam is in this race today, and is he in the race today as well? I can't see him. I thought Yestin was actually racing today, but unfortunately, as I said, I can't see him. So Cam is racing today. He has done a few good qualifying sessions, but unfortunately, I think he's just been lagging out and been disconnected like a couple times just from that. So he's looking for a lot of redemption today. So hopefully that does end up happening. But we have finally managed to get the qualifying session back up and running, which is all good to see. So we will now be getting into qualifying. Once again, this is for Division 3. Now, how things are standing at the moment. shows here. No one's obviously done their laps yet, but Norwich City is actually out on a lap, so we'll keep an eye on him. I think he may be the furthest one along compared to everybody else. I'm just going to see where Cam is actually. Oh no, Cam's actually just up ahead of him, but someone else is just ahead of him there, which I think is Ghost. Ghost's ahead of him. Breadbank just behind him. Smitsky behind him. Craigie behind him. So yeah, the furthest one along will be Ghost Recon, the American. He's actually been doing all right actually as of late. So maybe he's looking for a bit of redemption in this race as well. I mean, where did I say he was in the standings? About 17th. Now at the beginning of the season, he didn't exactly have the best results. Starting from Japan, he's had 5 points, 1 point, 6 points, and 5 points. And Monaco was his best result, finishing in P6, finishing with 8 points. So obviously that's why he's on that total of 26 points. And he's looking to see if he can maybe try and overtake Dave or even Frey, depending on his result today. Because the pair of them, well, Dave is here, but Frey isn't. So we'll have to wait and see how these guys are going to end up getting on throughout this race. A couple of guys have already set their laps. Ghost did the 36.7. Norwich City done a 36.9 on the softs. Craigie's done a 40.1, but I don't know, he'll look to improve on that one. Cam or Vettel is actually on done a 36.0 on the mediums, and Breadbank's done a 35.7 on the softs. Now, pole time I'm saying is looking more towards the mid 34s. Like 34.5, mid to high 34s, shall I say. Done a couple practice sessions with a few of these D3 guys, and yeah, as I said, 34, mid 34s is where they are looking to be at. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. And as I say that, the man who I said that I was thinking that we'd end up getting there is there. Nico's on a 34.7 on the set of the soft tyres, and it's only beginning of qualifying. So he is going to look to improve on that time immensely, and we'll see if he ends up actually getting any quicker from that time. Now, who's further up ahead, Adri or Heated? Whereabouts is Adri? He's actually about to come across the final corner, so we'll see what time Adri is going to end up doing. I think he's in the 35s. Yeah, 35.5, but I know he's going to want to improve on that time as well. So, again, we'll have to keep an eye out on that. But guys in the chat, let us know. Do you think Andrew is going to win this championship today? Is it going to be today? Is it going to be a different? Is it going to be next week in Belgium? Or do you reckon he's not actually going to win this title? And do you reckon he's going to end up somehow losing this title and absolutely bottling it? Probably would be the biggest bottle in LOE. So make sure you put it in the comments who you think is going to. If you think he's going to win it today, if not, maybe at Belgium, or even if not for that, and ends up losing it. Because you never know what can happen. You never know. But Heated done his time doing a 36.3. Decent lap from the man in the Toro Rosso, but I know he will want to improve on that. A couple guys here. Lewis saying Adri will be winning it. Bones is cheering on for Adri. New Zealand Cam saying, yeah, he'll win the title. I'll win the race if I don't lag. Fair enough. Bones is saying Lewis to D1. Fair enough. Breadbank saying, be humble. Sit down. Mark in the chat saying Forza Adri. Nico put an F in the chat for some unknown reason. Oh, that was for when we thingied it, yeah. Cam saying Ozone Vettel for the win. I don't know why people talk about themselves in the third person. It's an odd one. Eduk in a chat has said he hasn't been able to attend today, but he said Adri is finishing it today. Big W putting in the chat saying dry all race and quali. Got Ibo in the chat, Mike in the chat as well. I was about to say, is Mike in the race? But yeah, I can see him in there. Anyway, I ran out wide into the barrier and crashed in Sector 3. Well, wasn't a smart one, was it, Breadbank? But we are going to have D1 is about to go live as well. So if you guys want to go and check that one out, then you're more than welcome to do so. Obviously, Montana's already clinched the title and is far on away from that. Second place, however, is very, very tight. New Luigi is clinching onto it by an absolute thread. So again, if you want to go and watch that, we've got 3 races to go. We're almost at the end of the season already. Even though, despite it's been an 18 race season, it has flown by. So again, Montana's already won that title, but who do you reckon is going to get second in Division 1? Another thing if to obviously try and think about as well. And then also in about an hour's time, Division 2 will also go live. Now, you've got 4 people in contention still for this title, which is Dan, Campbell, Morgan, and myself. Now, Morgan isn't actually attending a race today, so he is almost practically out of that title fight, but he's still in it, but it's going to be very difficult for him to try and contend it. So that just leaves with myself, Dan, and Campbell to see who can take that win and who can try and extend their gap in the championship or even close up the gap in the championship. Campbell is the one that's currently in the lead of all 3 of them. Out of all 3 of us, sorry, 4 of us even. So again, he's definitely been on form lately. So again, we'll have to try and keep our eyes out on that. But yeah, as I said, that will start in about an hour's time. I think being commentated by Mike and Ghost. So make sure you don't miss that one. And as I said, Division 1 is currently going on as well as we speak. But back to Division 3, because that's the one that is currently going on your screens right now. Norwich City is just starting his new lap now. He is only just half a tenth up on his time in Sector 1. There are yellows in Sector 2. That wasn't him that just spun, was it? No. I don't know who it was that spun. Sminsky, maybe? No. Bettel? Could have been. Well, I don't know. I don't think so. Although he is improving on his lap at the moment. He is only a tenth up on his time. So we'll see if he ends up proving a better time than what he has done. Again, that 36.0 was on a set of the mediums. So we'll keep our eyes out on the man in the Toro Rosso, the reserve driver. Currently now just going through the hotel section of the track. And he's actually out of fuel. So he isn't going to be able to go for another lap, sort of lagging everywhere, and that's him back into the pits. Now, what I didn't actually realise was Kursk going up into P4, so that's a decent time from the man in the Mercedes. Again, another one we'll have to keep our eyes out on because he has been up towards the top. He just keeps on. I don't know. I think it's just more him having a bit of, excuse me, having a bit of a bottle moment. But again, another one we'll have to try and keep our eyes out on because he could do well to come towards the end of it. But Norwich City now just coming across the line, does improve on his time, does a 36.2 on the set of the softs, goes into P6. So not a bad lap from him. Now James is currently out on a lap on a set of the mediums. I think he done his first lap on a set of the hards. So again, we'll keep our eyes out on the man in third in the championship standings. Big W is also not set a lap as of yet. I don't know if he's just started his lap. Oh no, he's in the hotel section. So we'll stick on board with Big W and then we'll switch over to James in a minute. As I said, the other championship contender, Big W, we'll see where he ends up coming out as he comes along the final corner. Where does this put him? He does a 35.1, goes into P2, just up ahead of Adri. So again, this is going to be an interesting one to see who is going to end up winning on this one. Nico is looking like he could be the winner for this race. If Big W does finish second and Adri finishes third, like I said, Adri is going to win the championship no matter what because of race wins. Brett Banks saying Big W to win, Adri to get tangled up with another front runner and DNF. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it. A lot of guys are also predicting that Adri's going to win it today. He would need to be that consistent, but I know what Abu Dhabi can be like with tyre temps and stuff like that. It is awful. But James actually went straight back into the pits. Nico's just improved on his lap once again. Adri's just coming across the line. He improves on his lap as well. Does a 34.8. So he goes ahead of Big W. Now up into P2. Drops Big W down into P3. So decent lap from the man in the Renault. And we'll see if he ends up actually carrying that form on. If this finishes how it is in qualifying now, Adri is that championship winner. And it's just how it goes mathematically. He will be that championship winner. But with about 5 minutes left to go now in qualifying. I'm going to keep an eye on this man on your screen here, Mr. Ricardo TV. Recently only just done a 24-hour stream as well. So good stuff to him. Comes around the final corner now. What's he going to end up doing as his lap time? He goes into P10 doing a 36.3. Not a bad lap from the reserve driver in the Ferrari. Now, Ghost is currently on a lap. He's in sector 3 coming up towards the hotel section. And looking like it's actually going to be a decent lap from him as well. I think he said it's about 2 or 3 tenths up on his time already, and this is looking a lot better coming through as well. So let's keep our eye on what time Ghost will do as he comes around the final corner. It's going to be a 36.2. He goes just up ahead of Ricardo TTV, and both just sort of switch places now. And he's down in 11th, Ghost up into P10. Now, a couple of other guys are also just doing their laps. Craigie's done 3 laps on those sets of softs, which is kind of surprising to me. Ibo is just sort of weaving in and weaving on the straight. I think just still trying to warm up those tyres, but it shows that he's still in hot lap mode, so I'm not too sure why he's doing that. But we've got Wakursk, who is on another lap as well, in overtake mode, going down the long back straight. We'll see if he does end up improving on his time as well. 35.8 is not too bad so far, but it's in P6 for the minute, so it's looking like it will be an improvement on his time, but it depends on what he will end up doing. As I said, we'll keep on board with the Mercedes driver, as there are now only 4 minutes left to go in qualifying. He is up on his time only just by around a tenth, so no matter what, that will actually put him into P4. Taking it nice and easy through the hotel section as well. Good stuff from Kursk. This is actually looking like this could be a pretty decent lap. As Kursk is now just coming around the penultimate corner. Nice little exit. Don't get too much curb, otherwise you end up spinning from that. Now coming around the final corner. He does a 35.5 and actually takes P5. Vettel actually as well. I didn't see him. Just went into P4 doing a 35.3. Now what a lap that was from the man in the Toro Rosso, the reserve driver. So good lap from him. Ghost as well, done a 35.9. I didn't see that. So good going from the American in the Williams. Good lap from him. Smitsky is on a set of the medium tyres. I don't know if he's actually going for another lap or if he's just sort of slowing down and going to be making his way into the pits after this lap. But this is the other one that we're also looking to see if he's going to do well. James, he's on a lap on a set of the softs. Now just coming up to the tight and twisty chicane. Locks up massively going into it, but it doesn't look like that's hampered him that much, if at all. I think, well, it would have hampered him a bit, but not much at all. Now, in the second DRS, you got to go as wide as you possibly can. He's 1.5 seconds up on his time, so that'll put him at around a high 35, a low 36. James hasn't done a soft run yet. No, he's done only hard run. A 38.6 on the hards. He locks up massively though going into the right-hander, and I know how tricky that can be with no ABS on as well. But still looks like he's doing decently with it, making the best of a bad situation. Good exit out of there as well. Now coming around the final corner. What time will James do? A 35.5 puts him into P6, just behind Wakursk, or in between Wakursk and the Bread Bank. And the Bread Bank is really hoping that someone's probably going to try and knock him down into the bottom set, into below the top 10, just at least he gets that free set of tyres to choose from. Oh, never mind. They want him to keep him in the top. He wants to be said in the top 10, so never mind. Guys, do your worst. Bruno Rossetti is currently on a lap at the moment. I just see Mike put in there that he was a melt, so I don't know what had happened between the pair of them, but I know he is currently about a tenth down on his time at the moment, but it does look as if it could be a bit more of an improvement now that I'm just going through it. So will he be improving on his time? No, he doesn't. He actually just he was doing a little bit of weaving and makes his way into the pits. And that is Norwich City's qualifying over. With Kursk and Vettel, they're not going to be able to do another lap. Norwich City, Dave and Craigie, no other laps for them. Now, Ivory Mike is currently on a lap. I don't know if he must have had his lap blocked by Norwich City. I'm not too sure. But I know this man can be quick on a qualifying stint as well. So we'll keep our eyes on Mike. See if he does end up doing a really good lap. He's now just coming down the back straight. I didn't actually get to see what his sector 1 time was in comparison to everything else. But again, we'll just have to keep our eyes out on that. We currently also have 30 viewers in the chat. So, shalom, hello, ciao, bonjour. Guten, hola, to everyone that's in here. Mike is absolutely storming down. He's a 10th up on his time. If he keeps on pushing it a bit further as well, he may end up getting ahead of Ghost or even Heated. As Nico does a 34.4. What a time for the man in the Red Bull. Will his teammate have something to say about that as well, though? We're keeping an eye on it. He's coming around the penultimate corner. Is he going to improve on his lap? Here we go. Comes around the final corner. He does a 35.5 and actually splits between James and Wakursk. So James is going to be starting down around P7. So what a lap from him. What about Big W? Big W's just coming around the final corner now as well. Is he going to improve on his time? He does. He goes into P2, just 5 thousandths of a second ahead of Adri. But Adri is still on his lap at the moment, and it's so that he was about a tenth up on his time. So will he end up going up ahead of Big W and even potentially going up ahead of Nico? This would be huge for Adri if he ends up going ahead of him. Although he just cuts that corner. I think that's it. That's it. Adri's invalidated that lap. Oh, it's unfortunate for him. So Big W, it was a very good lap from him. 5 thousandths of a second just ahead of Adri as well. But Smitsky is also... No, I don't think he's actually on the lap, is he? No, he's got a lot of broken front wing as well, so... That is qualifying in the books, Nico. I think that's his first pole position. No, it's not. I think this is second or third, actually. Second or third pole position. So, good going from Nico. We'll have to keep our eyes on him as well, because he has done exceptionally well to get on top of there, especially with the 2 championship leaders just behind him. So no pressure for him. But like I said, if it stays this way, Adri will be your championship winner. But there's the qualifying results. Look how close it was between the top 3. Not even half a second. And especially the top 2, 5 thousandths of a second between each other. But Nico on pole with Big W alongside him in P2. Adri in 3rd with Vettel in 4th. Wakurski in 5th. Mike in 6th. James in 7th. Heated in 8th. Breadbank in 9th with Ghost rounding out the top 10. And starting just in below the top 10 is Norwich City in 11th with Ricardo TV in 12th. Swinsky in 13th. Dave in 14th. Craigie in 15th. And Ibo at the back of the grid starting down in 16th. And I know Ibo is going to be thinking, I want to go for a last to first challenge. So we'll have to wait and see. Norwich blocked me in sector 3 on my first soft lap. Basic one shot after that. Got ya. But now we are just awaiting for these guys to do their strategies, get the amount of fuel that they want in. So once again, we'll have to keep our eyes out on these guys as well. And let us know in the comments who do you think is going to be the one that ends up winning this race. Will it be Adri? Will it be Big W? Will it be Nico? Could it be someone outside of the top 3? Could it even be Vettel when winning his first race? You never know. But as they're going through the formation right now, let's just have a look at what the guys in the top below the top 10 have gone on. So Craigie is the only one that has gone on a set of the softs. Majority of the guys have gone on a set of mediums. Norwich City, Ricardo TV, Smisky, and okay, so that's Yestin. So Yestin did end up making it into the session in the end. So he's actually starting down in last on the set of the mediums. So again, we'll have to keep our eyes out on him. Ivo and Dave are the only 2 that went for a set of the hard, so they are going to try and do the 1 stop for that. As for the rest of the guys that are starting on the softs, they can probably try and go for a 1 stop, but it's a lot harder to do so than go for a 2 stop. So again, we'll have to wait and see what these guys end up going on as such. But yeah, look at that. It's just a beautiful shot just going through here. All of these cars just swerving around under the lights of the United Arab Emirates. Look at that. Well, I think two cars just collided then. That looks insane. But yeah, put it in there. You think he's going to end up winning it? Cam is saying GG Nico. Bones is cheering on for Adri. Like I said, if Adri gets this win, championship's his. Gets second, and Big W don't get first, championship's his. Gets third, and Big W gets second, championship is his. If Adri gets fourth, and Big W finishes anywhere in the top three. Oh no, actually no, it'd be the same thing as well. If Adri finishes fourth and Big W gets third, Adri still wins that. Um, Basically, Big W would just hope that Adri needs to be at least two places away from him. If he's only one place behind him, there's a higher chance that the championship's over. But now we've just got all of these guys just lining up to their grid spots. So here we go. We are waiting now for these 5 red lights. And away we go. And Big W looks like he's got an insane start, managing to go past Nico. Nico looked like he was a bit slow off the line. Vettel was also going down the inside of Adri. Adri's just lost up 2 places already. And Wakurska's also even gone around the outside of him. James going past him as well as Ghost. Ghost has actually managed to get past Adri as well. So Adri is all the way down back into P7. Nico's been jumped off the line massively. Big W, what a start from the man in the McLaren. He is definitely proving himself that he's going to be showing that he is still in this contention for this championship fight. But James also managing to jump up into P5. Good start from him. Ghost into P6, going for that dive on the bread bank, and is now up into P6. So good going from the man at the American in the Williams, getting past him. Adri jumping down actually to P8 and is only just ahead of Heated. Just behind him, I think, is that Ricardo CTV? Yeah, it's Ricardo TTV, or Norwich City even. Ricardo CTV just behind him, going side by side now, going up towards the chicane. Who will be the one that comes out on top of that? It looks like Norwich City will just breaks a bit later than what Ricardo TTV is, but he goes for that switchback, goes around the outside of him, goes off the track a bit, and hopefully they're still side by side with each other, though. Will Norwich City be the one that comes out on top as they're now coming in towards the third sector of the Abu Dhabi track? It will be the one that comes out on top of that. Norwich City just around the outside of Ricardo TTV, leaves him that space and gets that move back and is now back up into P10. Good going from the man in the Alfa Romeo. Meanwhile, up ahead, we have got, I'm just trying to get up ahead to start off with. Heated is still just on the back of Adri. Also, we've just got Smitsky's just got a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits, just out of the blue. Vettel is now on the set of the podium, but just behind him, he has got Wakursk, who is all over the back of him. James goes very wide coming out of the penultimate corner. We've already now done the first lap of the race, so good going from everyone. It looks like kept clean. This Brett Bank actually just spins. I've just given that as a commentator's curse. I was just saying how well and how clean it has been on that first lap. Everyone just trying to avoid the bread bank. It's a bit of a difficult one as I think that's Mike that's just gone into the pits, and I think has he just retired? Or is that Nico? Is that Nico? I think that's Nico. Oh no, it is Mike. I was going to say it said I was spectating Nico, but here we go. Nico all over the back of Big W now once again. Done an exceptional qualifying, but Big W, what an absolute start from him. And the way it's going at the moment, with Adri being down in 7th place, it is not looking good for him to try and win this title at Abu Dhabi. But just up ahead of him, you have got James, who is all over the back of Wakursk, looking to see if he can try and go for a move down towards the chicane. He was thinking about it, but he's just had to back off. Looks up his tyres a little bit. Again, doesn't look like that's actually hampered him too much. Ghost, well, everyone's just sort of cutting that corner at the end of that turn in. And we could also just see this race come down to penalties. Because I know a lot of penalties can be gained here. Track limits are quite harsh around here, so again, it's something else we also have to try and keep our eye on. There's all the cars just racing through the hotel section of the track. Breadman picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. As James is roaring all over the back of him, but Vettel is actually the one that has set the fastest lap. In fact, Norwich City is the one that set the fastest lap on a set of the mediums. So already, I think it is starting to show that these guys' soft tyres are starting to go off already. Like I said, the tyre temps around here are brutal. But Adri is just keeping within that DRS of Ghost. Ghost actually hasn't got DRS to James up ahead of him. So Adri looking to see if he can probably try and get a move done on the Williams. And he has also got the DRS on him as well. Here we go. DRS is about to be activated right now for you. Sticks it in overtake on Ghost and goes down the inside of the man in the Williams. It's job done. Adri now back up into 6th place and looking to see if he can try and hunt down the likes of James, Leclerc and Vettel. Now, they were all very close to each other then. I know a bit of a DRS train. I think Vettel also had the DRS on these guys as well. There are yellows in Sector 2 and Heated is the one that's in reverse. He is in the wall. I don't know what had happened with Heated, but it's unfortunate for the man in the Toro Rosso. Now, Nico and Big W actually, which I didn't see that they were going in a battle, and Nico is the one that's actually just gotten past Big W. So Nico now back into your lead of the race. I don't know what happened with Big W. I think they may have just been on that DRS straight going up towards the chicane. So good going from the Red Bull to get himself back into 1st place. I know he was happy, but at the same time it was a bit disappointing of how he won that race at Kota. So we'll see if because I know he definitely wants a proper race win. And this is looking like it could be that one. He is looking exceptionally quick at this track. But Adri's now back in that DRS and has actually got that fastest lap of the race. So is Adri going to be the one that's going to end up catching up to these guys up ahead? He is, as I said, back in that DRS. As Heated is actually retired from the session. So unfortunate for Heated. As Vettel has actually spun into the wall and he's out of the race. So Vettel, he was, for his first race as well, he was looking so promising for it. Ends up spinning out at the turn 3. The first victim of it, and probably won't actually even be the last victim because I know it can absolutely chuck you out of there. But James now with that DRS on McCursk. James looking to go around the outside of McCursk, going into towards the chicane. They both brake late. Leaves that space on the inside. And James getting that switchback done on McCursk. That is a good move. A little bit of contact, but that is James now up into P3. But hasn't actually got that DRS. McCursk has got the DRS on him. Oh no, we're not going to see 3 wide. Surely not. McCursk going around the outside of James. James is keeping it on that inside, however. Going through the S section. But Leclerc gets that move done. Lovely move from the man in Mercedes. James now back down into P4. Adri is all over the back of these guys now as well. Leclerc has already made that 2.5 seconds down from him. And at the moment, Adri is hoping that Nico ends up finishing ahead of Big W. At the moment, Nico is probably Adri's best friend just to try and win this championship. As I said, Big W would really need a win in order for him to carry on this contention with this championship. Otherwise, it's practically all over. But with Adri being just behind James, another one of his championship contenders. Again, we'll have to wait and see how these guys crack on. As James runs very wide coming out of turn 1, must have gotten himself a warning for that. Will anyone spin it though? That's the real question. I know, as I said, turn 3 can chuck people. Ghost is actually doing quite well as well to stick with the front runner guys as well. He's having a pretty good race down in 6th place. But in fact, Nico's already built that gap up from Big W. Big W must have made a huge mistake coming out of that hairpin. As I said, he's already built up that gap from a second and he hasn't actually even got DRS. So good going from Nico. As I said, he's looking like he is on absolute form right now. As this battle for P3 is not showing that it's slowing down anytime soon. As Leclerc is still in P3, James with that DRS on him in P4. Is he going to try and do what Leclerc's done to him the last lap? Leclerc's holding that inside line for the S section. James going around the outside for the inside, back to the outside, and keeps that position. That is James now up into P3 of the race. What a move from the man in the Haas. But again, with these 3 all battling here, it's allowing Ghost to try and keep up with these guys. And Norwich City being the furthest one ahead on the mediums, he could be in for a very good result as well. So once again, another one we'll have to try and keep our eyes up on. Ah, okay, I see what you mean, heated. Yeah, you crashed into the wall. I see what you mean. But this battle for P3 is looking very, very tasty with these 5 cars. James being the leading pack of all of these guys. Excuse me. And actually, another one that's actually done quite well from the start is Yestin. He's up into P10, excuse me, at the moment, and it doesn't show any signs of slowing down. In fact, he's right on the back of Dave as well. He's going to have the DRS on him coming up towards his back straight where all of these guys are now. But Wakerska's already lost a second to James and hasn't actually got DRS. Has he got wing damage? I think he's got wing damage. As Craigie's retired from the session down in a P11. Unfortunate for him. Yeah, Wakerska has wing damage. I didn't see that. But Adri just going down the inside of Wakerska. Wakerska breaks late, hits the back of Adri. Must have got, I think he may have got himself a bit more wing damage from that. Adri is now up in the P4, but Wakerska, obviously with that DRS once again, he is going to have another opportunity to try and go back around the outside of the Renault. But I know Adri's straight line speed is impeccable. As Norwich City goes for a dive on Ghost, going up through the chicane. Norwich City is in a very good spot at the moment, as Marcus just said in the chat, on a set of these mediums, especially being behind third all the way down to seventh, or third to sixth on the soft tyres, and then also Norwich City being in seventh on that set of mediums. But because with that wing damage, they're going to want them to hurry up. Or, well, Norwich City is going to want to try and get past these guys ASAP. Because you can tell that these soft tyres are starting to go off now. Nico's already built that gap up from Big W, as actually Ghost makes his way into the pits. So he is the first one out of those front runners to make his way into the pits. Now, we'll have to keep our eyes on where he ends up coming out when the rest of these guys on the softs have made their pit stops. It's going to be a very interesting one to see where they do end up coming out, as I said. But Norwich City, with that being on those sets of mediums, is all over the back of Wakersk already. Like I said, we've gone off tyres, broken front wing. You got to think this is going to be an easy move done for Norwich City. If it's not now, it will be in the long DRS straight, as Adri is already back in DRS with James. I'm not too sure which one to keep our eyes out on. I'm going to say this one with P3, as James goes defensive on the outside. James actually has a massive lockup going through it. Adri tries to go for the switchback. Both actually side by side as Adri spun it in the wall! Our championship leader's lost his front wing! In fact, Adri has got that DRS. And is side by side with Wakerska going into the chicane. He's still got quite a bit of his front wing left, so it wasn't overly bad, but he is going to lose a lot of time to those guys up ahead of him. And Norwich City is losing immense time to those guys up ahead of him as well. Is Norwich City going for a dive, going through here? Oh, he's broken his wing as well. It's gone from bad to worse for these guys from P4 to P6. But you got to think, these guys have surely got to make their pit stops now, surely. Yeah, Adri makes his way into the pits. Does Wakersk follow him? Wakersk does follow him into the pits. So we'll see where these guys actually come out in relation to Ghost, because Ghost actually didn't have to pit and put on a new front wing. There's also a couple guys up ahead of him. Big W's made that pit stop. Nico's made that pit stop as well. James is the only one out of the soft runners that has actually carried on. Where's Ghost? Ghost is actually coming along the start finish straight as well. Is he going to come out ahead of Big W? Oh, no, he's not. Big W's nowhere near. But Ghost is technically a net P3. So what a result this will be for the American in the Williams if he does end up actually getting this P3. But as I said, it's gone from bad to worse for the man in the Renault, as Nico has actually gotten past Yestin. So Nico building that gap up already quite immensely from Big W. It's already about a 4-second gap between them. In fact, it's about a 5-second gap between them. Oh, as Yestin has actually cut the corner. He gets a 3-second time penalty for cutting that corner. But Adri all over the back of Kursk. Not able to get a move done. So he's just going to have to sit behind him for now. But it looks as if that undercut has actually worked well for Ghost. As Big W and Dave are going into a bit of a scrap. This is for P5. Dave did start on a set of the hardest, so he is going to be trying to hold Big W immensely to the point where it's going to have to try and go around the outside the hard way. Bit of a tap from him, but kept it clean nonetheless. And Dave now down in the 5th, Big W up into P4. As James has made his way into the pits, where is he going to come out in relation to these guys that were just behind him? He's actually come out ahead of them as well. But Nico is all over the back of Smitsky now. DRS open for the man in the Red Bull. Both side by side. Smitsky goes defensive on the inside. I don't think he's going to try and even fight that. Because Smitsky's on the set of the older tyres. So Smitsky just says, see you later, lets Nico pass, and that's him up into, now Nico in the lead of the race. He is going to have to try and make himself another pit stop, but again, we'll wait and see how he ends up getting on by doing that. There are yellows in Sector 2. I don't know who that might be. Is that Ricardo TTV? It is. How's he spun it there? That's an odd place to spin. Ah, must have had it from... Okay, must have got on the power a little bit too early and just didn't manage to get past. Oh, it didn't actually manage to control it, sorry. So, unfortunate for Ricardo TTV. But David's actually holding on to the back of Yestin. In fact, I didn't even realise that Big W had already gotten past Yestin, so... Smitsky is going to need to do some defending for his life to try and help out Adri. As Nico sets the fastest lap of the race, is that going to be overtaken by Big W? No, it isn't. But there are yellows in Sector 3. Who might that be? Honestly, I cannot tell you. As Ghost is all over the back of Dave. This is for a P5. Dave goes defensive on the inside. Ghost, I think, was looking to try and go around the outside, but was not able to get a move done on him. As we now go back to this battle for P2. DRS now open for the Papaya McLaren. Looks to go around the outside, or go down the inside even of Smitsky. Both now side by side going down the back straight. I think Big W just has the much better straight line speed, and that's him now up into P2 and looking to see if he can try and chase down Nico. Now there are yellows in Sector 3. I think Ricardo TTV unfortunately has retired from the session. And even saying that as well, Dave has managed to get past Yestin. Yestin's actually also lost another place out to Ghost Recon as well. And Ghost looking to see if he can probably go down the inside of Dave as well. They may even try and go 3 wide down towards the chicanes. They're not able to do so. Ghost actually managed to already get ahead of Dave and Yestin. And Ghost now up into P4 looking to try and chase down Smitsky. Ghost is having a blinding race. As I said, a net P3. So he is doing. He's having a very good drive at the moment. But Yestin going a little bit wide coming out of the hotel section. As James almost has a bit of a moment. Didn't spin it into the wall, but did just have a bit of a moment. But Adri just doesn't look like he can get past Rakursk either. He's still sort of sitting like that around like half a second behind him. I don't know if he's just waiting for Rakursk to make a mistake or what, but he's going to need to try and get a move on if he wants any chance of winning this title today. As Yestin, we've got that DRS open to Dave. He's not close enough to try and go for a lunge or go for a move. James locking up massively going in towards that chicane as well. Not close enough. Adri not close enough to Kursk. So it just has to sit behind him for now. James, though, with that DRS open on Yestin, he's looking daring. He's only just behind him, but he's, again, not close enough to go for a move on him. Is Adri close enough to go for a move on Wakursk, however? Had his wing just by his back tyres, but I think that's that done. As James is actually going side by side with Yestin, going through the hotel section, the double right-handers of the hotel section. Yestin just sort of backs off Dave. It goes very wide coming out of the exit of there. Dave is now actually holding up his teammate, and that's not something he is going to be happy about. Dave now just covering that inside off of James. I think has just said, yeah, go ahead then. I'm sorry, just go. And James now up into P5 as actually Yestin makes his way into the pits. So again, another one we'll have to try and keep our eyes out on, as Ghost is only 2 attempts behind Smitsky. Ghost, as I said, he's been running a very good race so far. He has got to make another pit stop, however, as do a lot of the other guys as well. Maybe other than Dave. Dave is the only one that is not going to have to try and make another pit stop, because I think he's going for that one stop with the hards to maybe, I don't know, mediums or softs. But here you go, DRS now going to be open for the Williams. Going side by side with Smitsky now, looking to go down the inside of the Renault driver. Already passed him on the straight. Says see you later. And Ghost now up into P3. And yes, that is a net P3. So this will be Ghost's best result yet in LOE. But to be fair, Smitsky is doing quite well at just holding on to those sets of mediums. He's taken them the longest so far. But you've got to think he's either going to make a come in this lap or next lap, considering that Yestin's already made his pit stops. So, again, another one we'll have to try and keep our eyes upon. Now, this battle for P6, Dave, Wakursk, Adri. Dave is going to have to do some cracking defending if he wants to try and keep these two guys behind him. Adri is not looking to get past Wakursk anytime soon. I think, as I said, he is more waiting for Wakursk to make a mistake and then capitalise on that mistake. Here we go. Wakursk now trying to see if he can go next to Dave. He isn't close enough to try and get a move done on him, although he's had a bit of a bad exit, Dave has. Wakursk had a beautiful exit coming out of there. Adri's just spun it into the wall! I don't think he lost any wing. I think he just spun it. I think his tyres just gave way. Yeah, it doesn't look like Adri's actually spun it. I think it was just his tyres gave way. So very lucky for Adri to not actually be in the wall. But here we go, Wakursk now. DRS open on Dave. Dave trying to hold that inside line on the Mercedes driver. Brakes very late going in towards the corner. Wakursk has to take a little bit of an evasive action so he doesn't get collide with him. And Wakursk stays in P7. Dave keeps that P6. Good defensive move from the Haas driver. But not over yet because Wakursk has got that DRS on Dave. He's looking to try and go around the outside of Dave, actually. Side by side through the chicane. They're still side by side. Wakursk has to just back out of it. Hits the back of Dave. Hopefully, I don't think he got any wing damage from that. It doesn't look like it. But still both going side by side as well. I think Wakursk actually just tapped the back of Dave a little bit. Now both going side by side. Wakursk now past Dave. And Wakursk now up into P6. Meanwhile, James up in P4. And he doesn't actually look like he's closing that gap to Ghost. If anything, Ghost looks like he's actually closing that gap up to Big W. So could we see Ghost on the podium? It's highly possible. Smitsky has made his way into the pits. Oh, he had the 5-second stop go, didn't he? From when he cut the track earlier. Ah, it's unfortunate for him. But Adri is now going to be very cautious going through turn 3 and turn 4. Well, yeah, turn 3 even. Because of what happened a minute ago on that last lap. Turn 2 and turn 3, should I say. But it looks like the grid is a bit evenly split now between everybody else. Other than actually just battle for P7 and with Adri and Norwich City. Now, Norwich City is looking a bit slower than what had happened because Adri's caught him up within about like a second within this lap. But I can't see any wing damage to Norwich City's car, so I don't know what's gone on with him there. But I mean, this seems to be the closest battle so far, so this battle for P7 is going to be the one that we're watching. Oh, Norwich City going defensive on Adri. Adri has to go around the outside to get that move done on the Alfa Romeo driver. Gets that done just on the straight, and Adri's now up into P7, trying to chase down Dave. This will be for P6. There's Dave on your screen right there. He hasn't actually made a pit stop as of yet either. He is on a set of the hard tyres. So we'll have to see where Dave ends up coming out in relation to all of these guys. Well, Kursk looks like he had a little bit of a half spin, but managed to recover that very well. But as you can see, Norwich City is now just losing quite a bit of time to Adri up ahead of him as Yestin picks himself up a 3-second time penalty down in 10th. So unfortunate for the Racing Point driver. Meanwhile, James is starting to close up that gap to Ghost Recon. I thought he was actually catching him, but was losing him, but in fact he's actually catching him. And actually, Adri is already within DRS to Dave. So will Adri be able to get past Dave going down the back straight? Again, something else we'll have to try and keep our eyes on. But James, he has got that DRS to Ghost. Will he opt to go for a move on the Williams? He did look like he got a very good exit coming out of that hairpin. He is gaining on him. Ghost goes defensive on the inside. James breaks late, looks up. Ghost goes deep into that corner. Now both side by side once again. James is the one with the DRS. He's got the much better exit going for that switchback. Now James, DRS open. Ghost, I think he's just going to have to stick behind him. Although they are still side by side. Ghost holding that inside line. Going up towards the chicane. Ghost does break late as well to keep that inside line. And Ghost loses out on that position. James now up into P3. What a move from the man in the hash. Good driving from the pair of them. James now up into 3rd. Ghost now down into 4th place. I think he'll still be happy regardless of this result anyway, because he's driven exceptionally well. But Adri now just behind Dave. Oh, he taps the back of Dave. I don't know if Adri got any wing damage from that. It doesn't even look like he's got any wing damage either. But I think Adri was expecting, well, wasn't expecting Dave to break as early, but he's on those older tyres. Ghost actually makes his way into the pit, and so does Dave. So they're going to be opting to put on a set of the mediums to the end. And we'll see where it brings the pair of them out once the other guys have also made their pit stops. Again, the guys on the mediums and the softs, like, the whole top 7 are going to have to make another pit stop. So where it's going to bring them out in relation to all of these other guys is going to be an interesting... It was going to be interesting to see where. And these guys on the set of the mediums, they might try and take these a couple extra laps and go for the softs at the end. Or they're going to try and maybe go for a pit stop around now, go for an undercut, go on a fresh set of mediums and try and take them to the end of the race. It's going to be mixed strategies around here. So we will be keeping an eye out on what these guys do opt to do. James and Ghost are the only two that have made their pit stops so far with two sets of softs, and Ghost has made his second pit stop now. So he is now on a set of mediums. He is going to be trying to go to the end on these, and you can already see the difference between himself and Ivory Mike. It was about 3.7 seconds at the beginning of the lap. He's already brought it down to 3 seconds. So you can tell how quickly these tyres do end up going off in comparison to the older tyres. But just actually going on board with this battle for P8 with Yestin and Ghost. Yestin's only 7 tenths behind Ghost, even though Ghost is catching these guys. Yestin is on 5-lap old soft tyres. So these are going to start to be going off soon as James actually makes his way into the pits. Does anyone opt to follow James though? That's the real question. Anybody behind him opt to follow him? Doesn't look as if it is. Oh, Mike actually does make his way into the pits. So Mike coming into the pits to try and undercut the guys up ahead of him as well. James looking to see if he can go for an undercut on the guys as well. So again, another thing we will have to try and keep our eyes on. As Adri is now in P4. And in fact, that's actually quite huge for James. With Yestin getting, with him getting past Yestin on the pit stops. Yestin on those obviously older set of tyres. He's going to need to try and get past it. But Ghost actually has also just realised, ended up jumping James with that undercut. So the undercut you can see is just, it helps massively coming out of it. Because he's already made a 1 second gap up from James as well, despite James getting past him on the lap when Ghost went for his pit stop. But Dave and Smitsky now going side by side, going in towards the chicane. Both going side by side, both leaving each other just enough for him. Dave keeps that position up in a P9. Nico gets himself up a 3-second time penalty, but he doesn't look as if he's anywhere sort of close to end guys, so it's not exactly mattering that much to them. Nico actually makes his way into the pits. Does Big W follow? No, he doesn't. Big W actually stays out for another lap. So Big W is going to try and go for an overcut. Kursk in third is also staying out. Is Adri staying out? He is indeed. What about Norwich City? Norwich City does stay out as well. So where's Nico going to come out in relation even just to Adri? Nowhere near him. In fact, Nico comes out in P2 still. So Nico has got a lot of clean air and a fresh set of rubber to try and build that gap closer to Big W. Now, is Big W going to leave it late and try and go for a set of the softs? Because it's looking like it's already hampering him. Nico's already made up 5 temps just within that first sector alone. And you can see the difference. The gap's coming down every single time. We're just looking at it. It's coming down. He's already made up a second on that lap, just on those 2 sectors alone. He's not even done the second sector yet. So he's already brought that gap down for about 1.2 seconds. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think Nico is the one that's currently holding that fastest lap. Yeah. So Nico is the one with the fastest lap at the moment. Does Big W make his way into the pits? Oh. He does. So Big W is now coming into the pits in response to Nico going on a set of the medium tyres. What tyres will Big W go on? Nico will come out ahead, but it looks like he's sticking on those Red Bull tyres. Is it enough though? Is it going to be enough to take those to the end of the race? Well, Kursk coming up to the first corner now. Goes straight past Big W. Will Adri be able to get past him though? Big W is now just coming out. There's Adri on your screen as well. Where are they going to come out in relation to each other? Big W is actually just gone out ahead of Adri on that pit stop as well. Adri is going to be very annoyed at the fact that he's just seen his title rival just come out ahead of him in the pits, when he has still got to make yet another pit stop. There are yellows in Sector 1 and Sector 2. As Norwich City is actually round, he's spun, there's a lot of debris. And Norwich City, he was doing so well, running it around P6, P5, and has just dropped it. Got majority of his wing missing. It was unfortunate for him. I know he still had to make another pit stop, but he was running so well. It's unfortunate for him. Very unfortunate. But Ghost is actually still on for this podium. He's got James behind him, 1.3 seconds. Now, I don't know the penalty situation. The only one I know is that Nico's got a penalty. Norwich City goes very wide. Dev goes straight past Norwich City. Of course, with that broken front wing as well. But James is sort of just keeping there with Norwich City. With Ghost Recon, sorry. The gap keeps on going from like just over a second to about 1.5 seconds. And vice versa. Nico actually just keeps on setting fastest laps. He's done a 38.8 now as his fastest lap, as Kursk makes his way into pits. Does Adri follow him? No, he doesn't. Adri is going to stay in P3. I wonder if Adri's going to try and take these to the end. I don't know if it's possible, but Adri might try and take these to the end. If it does happen, and he does take them to the end, Adri will be that championship winner. But the only problem is he has got Ghost, who is 6.5 seconds behind him, gaining at him at a rapid rate. Breadbank has just retired from the session. I think must have just gone into the pits to do that retirement. Norwich City picks up a 5 seconds penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He might actually try and do it. He has got to do some tyre saving. And when I say some, I mean he has got to save like he's saving people from a burning building. So will he try and take these to the end? There are only 7 laps left to go. Surely not. Especially considering he's spun it already as well. Especially considering he spun it. If he does it, I will be very impressed. To say the least, I will be very impressed. I think he may be coming into the pits this lap. No, he doesn't. Big W sets the fastest lap off the race. He's going to try and take these to the end. He's going to try and do it. He's got 6 laps to go to try and do this. If he is any capable of trying to do it, he has got to tyre save like no business. But he's also got to do that whilst making sure Ghost and James don't get past him. He can't let one of them past. As James actually picks up a 3-second time penalty. I can't remember if Ghost got a penalty or not towards the beginning of the race. But if James get past him and they start obviously catching up to Adri, if James gets past Adri just only needs to stay within 3 seconds of James to get that 3rd place. But here we go. James now going around the inside of Ghost, coming up towards the chicane. Ghost just sort of gives up that place and just says see you later. Ghost now down into P5, James up into P4. And now Ghost though has got that DRS once again back onto James. So he is looking very quick in a straight line. Is gaining massively on him. Now going side by side, going in towards the chicane. James just trying to leave that guy aside. Oh, there's 3-second time penalty for Ghost. So they're going to have to do some sort of catching. Oh no, this is going to be insane. If Adri does do this, it's going to be insane. These guys that are behind him by about 6 seconds are now going to have to try and get past him and get 3 seconds on him. The both of them. He's trying to do it. He's only got 5 laps left to do it. And yeah, Bones just pointed it out perfectly as well. These guys battling behind him, they are losing immense time to try and catch up to Adri. We could actually be seeing him being crowned your champion for Division 3 tonight. He's on 15 lap old mediums, and if he does this, it will be well deserved. because he has. I'm in shock if he does it as well, because he spun it earlier in the race on these sets of mediums. So I would have thought they'd be going off rather quickly. But he seems to be holding on to it. Well, Kursk is only 4 tenths behind Ghost. And what Adri probably really needs is a safety car. That's also what he is hoping for, in order for him to be able to try and go for that last charge. But Kursk, as I said, is only 2 tenths behind Ghost now. I said Ghost is on for a cracking result, regardless. But he's got Kursk just behind him on those sets of soft tyres. And Kursk is eager to try and get past him. As there's yellows in sector 1, sector 2, Kursk gets himself a 3-second time penalty as well. So with these guys all catching up to Adri, it's looking a lot thinner to try and even get past him and then go ahead 3 seconds as well. And Ghost isn't letting him by. At the moment, Adri is probably praying that Ghost doesn't let him past. Especially because he's on those soft tyres. But Kursk is trying every way possible to get past the Williams driver. And Ghost goes defensive on the inside. And Kursk just can't seem to get past him. But with this DRS zone, he is eager to try and get past him. Kursk very close behind him. Now going to have the DRS wide open to try and get past Ghost. There's yellows in sector 1. I don't know who that might be. Is that Dave? No. It's not Smitsky. It's Yestin. He's completely broken off his wing. But Kursk has actually managed to get past Ghost. Going around the outside of the chicane. And Kursk now up into P5. But Ghost has got that DRS back open again. And Ghost looked like he got a much better exit coming out of that chicane. Now going around the outside of Kursk. Going out towards the chicane. Will the pair of them go side by side as well? Kursk goes, dives it, brakes very late. Cuts off Ghost. And Ghost actually gets himself up another 3-second time penalty. I think that confirms that Ghost is probably best fit. He's going to place is in P6 unless some of these guys have a lot more penalties up ahead that I don't know about. We have only got 3 laps left to go, and Adri, 16 lap old mediums, is going to turn to 17 in a minute, but they are definitely starting to die on him. You can see James is gaining on him exponentially, as Ibo for some reason is just weaving up ahead. James runs very wide coming out of turn 1, so you've got to think that his tyres are going to start to be dying soon as well. Mike manages to get past Yestin. As I said, he has got a heavily damaged front wing. But Kursk, now, Adri is probably also hoping and praying that Kursk battles James quite hard like they were before. And Kursk being on the softer compound compared to what James is. In fact, Adri's got DRS to Ivo. So that's going to give him a little bit of leeway. James isn't going to have any DRS, but Kursk will. And Kursk is going to try and brake later than what James will. But will it be braking later than him to the point where he's going to try and overtake him? It doesn't look like it. He is just sort of gaining on him a little bit though. Here we go though. Kursk now gaining on James. James going defensive on the outside. Locks up, brakes late, and that's Kursk now up into P4 and is going to be chasing down Adri. You can see Adri is just up the road there on 17 lap old medium tyres. Kursk is only on 4 lap old soft tyres. And in fact, Big W is also on the charge to try and catch up to Nico. He's got 2 laps left to go with this race. If Nico ends up, if Big W gets within 3 seconds of Nico, because I don't think Big W's got a penalty, then that's him. Then Big W does win the race, and then this championship carries on. But Big W is going to need a massive charge to try and catch him up within the next 2 laps. But there, those guys that are behind him, Kursk is already within DRS of Adri, and Adri is not giving this up. He is trying as hard as to do that soft to medium strategy. And at the moment, it's looking like it's working. Kursk has got to make up that gap though of 3 seconds if he does end up getting past him. Adri sticking it in overtake, sticking it in Rich. Kursk, DRS now wide open, and he looks like he's got the much better run out of the hairpin. He's gaining on the Renault driver. Adri goes defensive on the inside, and I think Kursk is probably going to outbrake him. Although they're both really close, Adri does outbrake Kursk. Both still side by side. Adri just gives up that place and concedes that, but he's going to have the DRS on Kursk. Will he opt to go for a move once again on the Mercedes driver? He's looking to go around the outside. Kursk does brake late. He gives that space to Adri. Adri is not going to give that space on the inside, however, and that's Adri back up into P3. So Adri is doing he's doing an amazing job of defending from the guys that are behind him. And he's not going to give the opportunity for them to try and build up a gap of 3 seconds. Both still side by side. As Kursk gets very close to the wall, Adri just sort of gives him the squeeze. Has now allowed James to come back within this as well. This is going to be insane if he does win if he does get this. This is going to be absolutely insane. We've now got technically now it's 2 laps left to go. No, I said 2 previously, but now we have got 2 laps left to go of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and Kursk has just been half spun by James. Kursk is now lost a lot of time from James. James is now all over the back of Adri. These are the 2 that are also battling within the championship, along with the man who's up ahead of him. James looking to see if he can go around the outside of Adri, and was not able to do so. Adri is going to have to try and do a world of defending against the Haas that's right next to him. I don't know what Adri's like for straight line speed. A little bit of contact between the pair of them, and Adri's just going to have to give that one up. James is going to have to just move up ahead of him. And Adri, all he's got to do is just stay 3 seconds behind James. James is going to have to make an absolute charge to try and get rid of those 3 seconds in order for this championship battle to continue. However, Adri, with that DRS wide open on the Haas, James goes defensive on the inside, and he's not going to give it up easier like what Kursk did. However, Adri gives him the squeeze, and James has had to run across the grass, and that's Adri back up into P3. Oh my goodness. Adri could be about to do it. All of these guys behind him have got 3-second time penalties. I am not aware of Adri having a 3-second time penalty. We are on the final lap of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and Nico, I haven't even been on him at all through this race, other than when he was making his pit stops, but he has driven insanely well. And he has actually proven himself that he should be still within this title fight. It's just been unfortunate for the scenarios which has been happening. But we are still going to be watching this battle for P3 and P4. James manages to go and get the move done on Adri. I think Adri just backed off the wiser because he is thinking his tyres are just dying. 20 laps on these mediums, and he is not going to want to let James get away. He is going to want to try and stay within that DRS range of him. As I said, all of these guys around him have got a 3-second time penalty. I'm not aware if Adri does, and he has got that DRS to James still as well, but he has lost out that 1 second. Kursk is all over the back of Adri, and he is not going to want to have this battle with him. He is going to want to try and keep within that 3 seconds, but Kursk is going to want to try and get that battle, try and get that move done. Adri does brake late, doesn't leave Kursk the space. Adri's actually spun round. Adri's half spun it. That's allowed Ghost and Kursk through, and has already built that gap up. That's 2.4 seconds now. Adri is going to need to try and get this done. He's going to want to keep that DRS. He's going to want to try and get that charge done, because he's going to, otherwise it is going to be chaos, and this will carry on over to Spa, which is going to be your next race. I didn't manage to catch Nico coming across the line, but what a drive from the man in the Red Bull. Congratulations to him for winning at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Big W coming home to finish in P2. Now, this is where it's going to be hit and miss. Adri is 3.8 seconds now behind James. In fact, I'm going to try and keep an eye on this. So, he's actually within that 2 seconds. No, he's not. He's within 3 seconds. He needs to try and get that gap down now. They're coming across the penultimate corner. Will Adri be able to keep this one done? Here we go. James coming across the line now to finish in P3. Ghost now coming across the line to finish in P4. Kursk jumps up P3. Adri does P3. And that is Adri winning the Division 3 Championship. Oh my goodness. I'm I'm in shock. I'm in shock. Oh, hang on a minute. Who got the fastest lap? Big W. That puts that down to 49. Oh! Guess 40. It is 49 points. I forgot Big W got the fastest lap. So it is 49 points. It is literally 1 point. Oh! So this carries on. It isn't over yet. Big W was... I didn't realise he actually pushed for that fastest lap. I've run out of breath. I don't know what to think of that. That was insane towards the end of it. Wow. Just wow. Oh my goodness. Right, Nico. I'll go through this. I'll go through the end classifications of that. So Nico finishing in first. Congratulations to him actually getting his proper first race win, which he did want. So congratulations to the Spaniard for that one. Big W finishing in P2 with Andrew finishing in third. I thought it was the end of it, but Big W got that fastest lap point. So it's still going to Spa. Wilkerski in fourth with James in fifth. Dave in sixth. Goes seventh. Smitsky eighth. Ivory Mike ninth. Yes in 10th. Ibo in 11th. And our DNFers are Norwich City, Breadbank, Ricardo TV, Craigie, Vettel and Heated. Oh my goodness. What a race. I thought Canada was going to be the top of that. That was insane. Adri had just pulled off an absolute god strat, doing the soft to medium and actually pulling it off. Wow. Oh, wow. That's insane. But once again, congratulations to Nico for winning at Abu Dhabi. It's going to Spa, and I know that's a track that Adri is amazing at. So more than likely we will see that is where that happens. Once again, thank you very much for you guys watching. Division 2 is about to start, so make sure you drop by to watch that. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you next week for the Belgium Grand Prix.